everyone, just wanted to share a dream that I had on the 2nd of May that I believe is pointing to the planning of the deception that's going to come around at the time of the rapture. In this dream, I was kind of placed in the position of the person who is actually carrying out, or someone in a group that's carrying out the deception. So there was a person that was trying to steal my money from my account. And this person is the only producer that I know. So he does like film production. So, someone in the media, I'm guessing he was representing. And his name doesn't mean anything. I looked it up, so I think it just his occupation is what's important in the dream. He's a friend of husband of one of my friends. So he was trying to steal my money in like a very, very elaborate, deceitful way. So it was like a game to him. There were different amounts missing with a lot of meaning for different dates or particular reasons. I'm not exactly clear, but it just seemed like I was trying to follow this massive accounting trail that was very convoluted, and it was, he was stealing my money in a way that was very, devastating to me. So it was some kind of immature payback or retaliation too, it felt like. So I went into a very nice large hotel room with another girl. Her name means her last name means Black Stranger, and her first name is Defender. So I don't know, Secret Service, who knows? Black Stranger Defender. And so she was there, but then I wanted privacy, so I went into a private room by myself and shut the door so I could use the computer and call customer service or the police, somebody basically to complain about, my accounts being tampered with. And I spoke to a lady and I was explaining to her the issue on the phone. And I was like on the phone for a very long time, just detailing everything that was going on. And it seemed that she was taking information down, but then she kept transferring me. I started to get transferred from one person to another. When you call customer service and they have no idea how to handle your thing, it just seemed like I talked to so many people and nobody could really help me. I was getting really annoyed. And then all of a sudden, when I'm in this phone call, I guess I was giving up. Hillary Clinton, this is the first time I've ever dreamt of her, came in and she gave me some kind of card, like a little card, kind of like what you would use for, when you get like free coffees at different cafes, and they kind of stamp the, give you a stamp every time you go in. So it looked something like that, and I was supposed to use that to reimburse me for my smoking. So that's kind of strange, Hillary Clinton's giving me something, and it's felt like it was some kind of official, government funds that were going to be used to reimburse me for smoking. So I don't smoke, and obviously that seems highly illegal to me that I would be getting reimbursed. Like, you reimburse government employees for maybe meals and transportation and expenses, but you probably wouldn't reimburse smoking. So I'm guessing that just represented like an illegal type of reimbursement. And the stamps had like, it was kind of in the form of a calendar because it was in a grid, and each stamp was of her face, of Hillary Clinton's face. And it was filled up to like the first, it wasn't the whole calendar that was filled out. It was definitely like the first two rows were filled out with her face, and then the third row was not complete, I think, is what I read. I drew a picture of it, so it's kind of looking like around the third row, but it was definitely the entire month was not filled out, because each stamp was like a receipt for that particular day that I was gonna get reimbursed for. And I was annoyed that I was going to complain that I wasn't going to get stamps for the full month, but then I worried, oh, if I complain, then I'd probably struggle to get any kind of reimbursement. So I'll just let it go. And so then I went into another room, and it was this very nice, large room. And it was a special type of curtain, and it was for viewing the outside. It had a window with a nice curtain for viewing the outside of this green garden area of this beautiful resort. So it felt very fancy, and some people started arriving all of a sudden to my room that were going to arrive for a wedding. And I knew in the dream that this room was made or was reserved for me specially so that I would have a very special view of the wedding. This, glorious window and curtains and stuff, they were reserved for the special viewing of the wedding. And then guests starting to arrive. And then that was the end of the dream. So my interpretation of this is that there's definitely forces, both like in the media, some producer, and people in the government. Because to me, Hillary kind of represents crooked government. Kind of joining forces to force people to create this special view of the wedding, of the rapture, um, and to deceive others. Also, what I found really interesting was the stamps on the card that to me kind of looked like a map, like a calendar month, and the fact that it was incomplete. It only had about the first 2.5 to 3 weeks, but it definitely didn't have the full 4 weeks on there. So I don't know if anybody has anything else significant that they noticed from my report. Feel free to comment. Another dream I wanted to bring up was back from February 15th. This was the first kind of scary dream that I had. And this was very simple. It was Queen Latifah, the entertainer, walking in a large outdoor courtyard. She was looking very relaxed, very calm, and elegant. And she was walking alongside a man. And this man, it wasn't anybody I recognized, but he was dressed in head to toe of a very bright, deep blue color. And he was wearing a turban with the exact same color. So I knew that was something to have a look at. Why would this somebody stand out so much with this bright, deep blue color from head to toe? And of course, the next day I woke up, and the very first thing I Googled was, blue turban prophecy, something like that. And the first result I got was about some ancient Nostradamus prophecy about the blue turban, and the people said that was in reference to the Antichrist. So that was quite scary, and I was like, oh, I guess, that probably means he's coming on the scene. I don't know what Queen Latifah necessarily meant, her presence. She seemed to be quite, at ease with this person. And her name means God is my judge, light, well-born lamb. So maybe she's just being deceived as well by this person. On May 16th, I had a dream where I was told 33 is honey. And then right after that, I was just given the number 343, and that was it. So I woke up, and I didn't understand what that meant. 33 is honey, and then the number 343 afterwards. So then I woke up, and I kind of prayed. I prayed that I would get some confirmation or some more information that can help me interpret that dream. So I went back to sleep because it was still early. And then I was brought into remembrance of a dream that I had had many years ago before um, I ever started reading the Bible or learning about prophecy. And it was of this beautiful tree. So I was arriving at this party, and it was very peaceful. There was this beautiful, majestic tree, and everybody was around it, and everyone was wearing white. And there was a lot of like clean white light. I don't know if it was candlelight or maybe some other lights, but they were just like nice little glowing lights. Um, and I was arriving there, and the only person that I remember is this girl that I knew in high school. I don't keep in touch with her at all, and her name is Melinda. So I looked up her name, and it means gentle, soft, tender honey. That's what Melinda means, honey. And when I Googled the 33 is honey, I Googled 33 honey Bible, and that took me to Exodus 33:3, where the Lord is telling Moses to depart and go to the land of milk and flowing with milk and honey. So I basically got the confirmation with Melinda about honey, and I think that signifies the rapture and the beautiful white party. So that was very nice. I was very excited, and then I looked at 343, and that wasn't so great. The good thing is that it came after the honey, and I'm looking for that now. Yes, sorry, I can't find the comment where I discussed this. Oh yes, the 343 in Strong's Concordance in Hebrew, it means oppression, by implication, misfortune, ruin, calamity, destruction. So that's awful. And then it's the product of multiplying 7 times 7 times 7. And in the book of Revelation, there are 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls, which cause the destruction. So I felt that that was confirmation that the honey, our departure and arriving at the wedding and the rapture comes before destruction. Another dream that I had was in May 14th, and this was also very simple. I just saw Obama, and he was in front of him was some kind of semicircle display. He was just kind of standing there, kind of had a smug look on his face, and the display in front of him was kind of like lots of little blocks. Like I thought maybe they could be books or something, but it was very colorful, shiny. And then when I saw another video later the next day, it kind of looked like maybe the EU flags, all kind of put together in a row. There's one where they're all kind of one of their logos, I think, is that they're all kind of semi-circular display. So it could have been that, and that could be pointing maybe to the time frame of his upcoming speech in Berlin. And the last thing I wanted to share was a dream my husband had less than a week ago. He was an observer, and there were these Transformers type creatures. That's the best way he could describe it. They were kind of like the movie Transformers, but kind of evil. And they were destroying a city, and they were just wreaking havoc everywhere. And we haven't watched any of these kind of movies for a while, so and my husband hardly ever has dreams. He actually only started remembering his dreams when I prayed to the Lord that he would start receiving more of the Holy Spirit and get confirmations in his dreams as well. So then just yesterday I saw that in God We Trust End Time Ministries had a similar dream from the Lord and he titled it Demonic Alien Terminator Robot. So I don't know if that's gonna be like something real that happens or if it's part of the deception. Who knows? But I just thought it was interesting that it was around the same time frame. They had the same dream. Um, so yeah, that's all. I know I had shared a lot of Rapture, very nice dreams that I've had, but I felt that I should put out the other more scary ones that I've also recorded in my journal. Thank you. Bye.